Well, hello. I'm here to tell you about the land of order of operations. No, seriously. This is Mrs. Logan. I'm here to tell you about order of operations because I've been talking about it for the last couple months, that it was coming, and so it is here. So from this day forward, you are always going to follow the order of operations. So you're thinking, okay, why 5th grade, not sooner? Well, the problems are starting to get more complicated. In years before now, you had problems that weren't so hard, but we are now going to get into more difficult problems, and you have to follow the certain order or your answer is not going to be correct. So we're going to learn that today. Now, there's a couple of different ways. I always tell a story about the land of operations in king parentheses, but some people like to remember the order of operations through this little saying. So I'll go ahead and put this on here. It's called PEMDAS. I know I've talked about it. You're going to change your last name to PEMDAS for the next couple weeks. So if your name is Jennifer, it'll be Jennifer PEMDAS. That way you get used to writing it. And then what they do is they do this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And I always think of Thanksgiving, like all of a sudden Aunt Sally did something rude, and so you want to excuse her. But anyway, so notice that I underlined all the beginning letters, and that spells out PEMDAS. So some people remember PEMDAS that way, and then some people will remember the way that I'm about to show you. All right, so back to my fake British accent. No, that wasn't it either. Anyway, land of operations, order of operations. Well, the order of operations is ruled by king parentheses. And my pen's not working that great tonight. Parentheses. And he has a queen, Miss Queen exponent. And you will follow these rules. I'm going to show you an example in a second. They're prince and princess. So we have princess multiply. That's because she likes to shop and multiply the clothes in her closet. Whereas prince divide, he likes to make things a lot smaller by blowing them up, so we call him Prince Divide. And then finally, their pets, which are addition and subtraction. Notice alligator for addition, and subtraction is our snake. Okay, all right. So let's go through the order. Basically, whenever you're working at an expression or an equation, or anytime you're just working a problem, you are always going to follow this order. You are first going to check to see if the problem has parentheses, and this would be an example of a problem with parentheses. Equal. Get rid of the equals there because we want to do an expression. All right, so if I put parentheses around the 2 and the 1, that would tell me when I do my order of operations that I'm actually going to add 2 plus 1 first to get 3, and then I'm going to bring everything else down, and I'm going to get an answer of 7. Now in this case, you probably didn't matter which way you did it, but you are to look and see if there's parentheses. So if there's parentheses, you will always do those first. If the parentheses aren't there, then you've got to go to the queen exponent, to see if there's any exponents. So it's kind of like following the orders. Like you go to their house. Is the king here? No. Is the queen here? No. That kind of thing. So an example of an exponent would be 4 to the 2nd power minus 1, where we would make this not 4 times 2. What is it? That's right, 4 times 4 minus 1. And then you would do this math of 16, and you would subtract 1, and therefore bring it down, and therefore your answer is 15. All right, so that would be an example with exponents. And you might have exponents and parentheses in the same problem, but you always do parentheses first. If neither parentheses or exponents are in the problem, then you're now down to the prince and princess. Now, the prince and princess have the same amount of power, so you have to go, okay, well then what do I do first? You're always going to go from left to right, just like you read from left to right. You will work the problem from left to right if both multiplication and division are present. Let me give you an example. Right, so I've set up 2 problems. They're the same, but I'm going to work out one wrong in the wrong order. In the right order, I look and I say, okay, there aren't any parentheses and there's no exponents. So now I'm to the prince and princess. And I'm going to work from left to right. So if I work from left to right, I'm going to do this first. I'm going to divide 4 by 1, which gives me 4. Bring down everything else. Remember to do one operation at a time. And my answer is 8. And that is the correct answer. If I did them in the wrong order and I chose to do the 2 times 1 here, I would get 2. Bring everything else down and check it out. Are those the same answer? They're not. So you can see where if you don't follow the order of operations from now on, you might get a wrong answer, and guess what? They'll have that on the FCAT. It'll be an answer choice. So they'll have the right answer of 8, but then they'll also have the answer of 2. So you got to make sure that you're really paying attention. So this is wrong. Okay, so then finally maybe you get down to your problem and you only have addition and subtraction left over, or maybe your problem only had addition and subtraction. The pets, they're also like the prince and princess. They have the same power. They're the lowest on the totem pole, so you would go to them last, but you also still follow the right to left theory. Okay, so I've set it up, and here we're down to where we don't have parentheses, we don't have exponents, there's no multiplication division, so we're down to the pets. And the wrong way would be what? Where would we start if it was wrong? Did you say 1 plus 2? You're absolutely right. So let's work it out wrong first this time. 1 plus 2 is 3, minus, and the 4 are brought down. And then if we do our math here, we would get 1. Now, actually, I think this is going to work out the same. Let's see. We're going to do it the right way, and we're going to do 4 minus 1 is 3. Oh, look at here. So I bring the plus and the 2 down, but then when I do my math, I get 5. Notice these are not the same. So you have to go from left to right when you're faced with subtraction and addition. So notice here we have a 5 and 1, and that is what is correct. All right, so let's look at this problem. Now you can see we're kind of getting a little more complicated. I hope you notice something really strange here too, and I'm going to show it to you. Notice right here that the number is right next to the parentheses, and there's no sign, no addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Whenever that happens, it really means you're supposed to multiply. So this is the same as 4 times whatever's in the parentheses when you do that math. They do that because when you get to algebra and you're using letters, X, and then you won't know if it's supposed to be a variable or are we talking multiplication. So they start to leave it out so that you're not confused between the variable and the multiplication sign. All right, so before we start, we want to go through our PEMDAS. Are there any parentheses present? Well, the king is there, so we got to deal with him first. So we're going to do that math, and then inside the parentheses, that would become 2. I'm going to bring everything down, 20 minus 4. Now remember, this is 4 times whatever, so I'm going to go ahead and make that a time sign, plus 2, okay? Now, next thing in line, are there any exponents? I don't see any. Those are the little numbers. Multiply or divide. Ah, I see multiplication. So let's do this. This is going to be 4 times 2, which is 8. Bring everything down. The 20, the subtraction sign, the addition sign, and the 2. Now, we're dealing with only subtraction and addition. We're going to go down to our pets, and notice that they're the same power, so we're going to move from left to right, which means I'm going to start here, and I'm going to get an answer of 12 plus 2, and then finally, we only have one operation left, and that is 14. I want you to also make note that look how my answer came out. Looks like our snow cones. All right, so go ahead and get the notes if you can print them. If not, I will have them for you if you watched it tonight. If you did not, then you will be taking notes in class during your computer time. And then also make sure that you answer the questions at the bottom. Thank you.